we no longer have a film specialist to teach our film studies courses. And you know, we don't have, now we don't have anyone who has a specialization in teaching ESL, English as a Second Language. And so with the loss of these faculty, when there isn't the money to replace them, the people who really suffer are going to be the students. As this gentleman said, courses that used to be offered at Clarion, and I'm sure at other state system schools, are no longer offered because we're doing so much more with so much less. And I guess I would just ask, and we would just ask for you to support finding a way to start to restore some of the funding of the state system schools. And I'll shut up now.
No, you made a great case. Anybody else want to jump in there? Or we have lots of different colleges of different varieties, you know. But in the end, my personal opinion is that the state system schools are our special, our duty to take care of them. That is, you know, they are state owned. They are a great way for lack of a better term, first generation students to access higher ed. They are geographically spread, and it behooves us as a state to have that more affordable option available, and so that should be our priority. I believe that personally, and to the extent that I'm able to keep that everyone's priority, that's what I'm working on. The other thing, though, we do have to. We are living in a changing world, and I do think that our state system schools have begun this and will continue to see a little bit of, for lack of a better term, specialization. And that, what I'm trying to say is every state system school can't be everything to everybody. I think in a time of a world that's changing and in a fiscal environment that's changing, we have to say that maybe this and this state system school are a little bit heavier concentrated in certain subject areas and others in other subject areas, and so they can't all be all things to everybody. And I think that is the reality going forward. I think it's a smart use of resources doing that, and so to that extent, there have been changes. You've seen those on the ground in the last several years, as the different state system schools sort of look for their niche, look for their, here's our flagship kind of things, and that I think you will see more of that as we move forward too. So with that, I do appreciate your passion, your willingness to come down here, and obviously I certainly get it. You know, starting off life with a huge debt is not the great aspiration of anybody, because you always have lots of startup costs. You know, getting yourself established, getting a family, home, all those kind of things, and then to have on top of that a constant debt payment. It's very difficult. So to the extent we can keep that as low as possible is critical too. So I do have some other things to go to today. I appreciate hearing from you. If there's anybody else that wants to jump in while we're here, Belle
Senator Hutchinson, did you want to say something?
Please go ahead.
Okay,
please.
I just wanted to emphasize, like, I hear your perspective.
Yes.
About the specialization,
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to emphasize that the state schools offer this broad liberal arts and sciences education that's so important to every student. And so, you know, we work hard to maintain a rigorous and diverse, preparing students overall for this global society. And so I just want to, I just want to be able to say or verbalize that that's really important at the state school level, that they receive this wonderful, solid foundation upon which they can then specialize in their majors. And I understand that sometimes majors like come to the surface as, you know, in a particular college as being outstanding, but I would hate to see that it would go to, well, we're gonna designate a particular college or a university be a particular major or emphasis. You know, I would rather.
I don't know that those would be designated per se, but I think the institutions themselves will migrate that direction. I
think we always have, right?
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Like having
Yes.
specialty
Yes.
kinds of degrees.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
I
get
just wanted
that.
to put a word
I get it,
forward.
and you know, one of the things that in Clarion University as Venango College, in Oil City, I live in Oil City, so I'm pretty familiar with them. They are really, you know, finding a niche in more technical kind of specialties, and that's a good thing. But I don't know that everyone should do that. I don't. And that's what I'm trying to say here. There are certain things that certain of the institutions may find a special. You know, one might. I know there's also been talk about maybe getting more into an engineering kind of focus at Clarion. I once again, should all of them do that? I don't know. You know, we're not going to be voting on a bill saying you must only do this at this university. It's not happening. We're not going to do that. But yes.
I'd like to go back to the financial situation.
Okay,
So
please.
I appreciate the discussion
Yeah.
about specialization.
Sure.
Certainly we've moved in that
Yeah.
direction in lots of ways and we'll continue to do so. But aside from the issue of the students have a burden certainly, right? And it's a continual burden that they have to realize. I was a first generation student, a veteran. I got the GI Bill. That's how I went to college. Right? I understand that. I've lived that life. The university itself is under dire financial stress. So we go beyond simply the students having a difficulty in paying and the possibility that the university might not exist. And so we have a deep debt situation which has been impounded by the 23% cut that we got from under Governor Corbett many years ago. With flatline funding ever since. And we've not been able to raise ourselves out of that because of other things that happened in the state. We've lost enrollment. And so we have an existential crisis at Clarion that has to be addressed by the state. And we need funding to get to the point where we can start paying our bills on a regular basis. We can't have the kind of structural deficit that we have currently. And other state schools have the same problem. And so this is a dire problem. We have a dire situation. Because it doesn't do you any good to go to college if it doesn't exist. Most of the students we have are regional students who live in the local area. They go to Clarion simply because that's the closest place. They can live at home maybe after a couple of years, and they can help pay for themselves. If there's no university there, they may not go to college at all. And so the students who can't afford the college, then they get no opportunity to work their way to the middle class, to rise themselves out of the poor and working class that they come from. That was my life, and I want them to be able to do that too. And I'm worried that the university is not going to exist if we don't fund it. And we have to provide more funding for Clarion and the rest of the state system. Flat funding from those levels is not going to be long-term viable. It's a dire situation. It's not simply a situation of trying to have less burden put on the students. It's a situation where there may not be a university there for them.
Well, it affects both. When the general operating funds coming in are not to a certain level, then all of a sudden the tuition's going up really fast. And that's when they are taking bigger loans and all. It's a never-ending thing. And that's but you make a great point. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes.
Sorry, thank you.
No.
It just seems like in the world we live in today, or the world we're moving into, that like a bachelor's degree isn't enough for you to, I guess get ahead or to, I guess get ahead of the curve to say. So I think what everyone's saying when it comes to, finances or just just I guess the money being available, it just doesn't seem like the burden that we get for a bachelor's degree that doesn't even get you in the door sometimes is it, you know, they just don't seem equal, you know, for, again, a degree that doesn't get you in the door, but yet you have so much debt which will take you, you know, double-digit years to pay back. It just doesn't seem like there's a great balance there. So, I don't know, you know, the issue of funding to, you know, put myself through school or just through other students to put themselves through school, it just doesn't seem at the level it should be when it comes to the amount of money. So that's my opinion.
Thank you. Do we have another hand over here? Well, thank you for coming. Good luck for the, I know you probably had some other meetings with other folks, and I know there's a rally later, but hope you have a good day here, and we appreciate you coming back. I appreciate hearing your perspectives, and I think we are generally on the same team, so I'll just leave it at that. Yes.
If we would, some of us, or groups of us would want to meet with you to continue the discussion, that would be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we would
Yes.
just contact
Love to do that,
your
yes.
office.
Glad to anytime. Happy to hear you here, district, wherever. Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
because, you know, obviously, this is a critical issue for all of us, and, you know, it is for the Commonwealth itself, because without an educated populace, you know, how is the state going to rise up